ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Two Fat Guys Talking Flowers, where we're always going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly about flowers. I'm Fern here with Joelle. We got Mimi in the house. We got Mike here. We got Ryan on Zoom. And our stupendous, inspirational, and amazing guest is none other than Lori Brock Wilson, PFCI Director of Customer Success at Flower Clique.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hello, Clicker.
Hello.
Huge fans.
I like that title.
You like that title?
The
Yeah.
Director of Customer Success at Flower Clique.
I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
That is hot.
Yeah.
No,
I recently changed my title to head coach because
Ooh, I like that.
I don't want to be a president.
I like that, the head coach. Ellie and I play around with titles a lot about what my title should be. I saw Apple had a title of a guy. He was their chief evangelist. And so for a while, I wanted to be that.
That's a good one.
But then it was a little too like church, not against church, I go to church, but I was like, I kind of want to be that. Like, I want to be everybody's evangelist. I want to just preach to everybody about happiness and flowers and like the whole thing. But then we're like, people might think it's kind of weird. So we didn't do that one.
People get weird when, you use a name that is kind of always associated with religion, right?
I know.
People get weird around religion. I don't know why.
But I was like, if Apple did it, I don't know. I think
true.
it was more of an internal job for them. Like this guy's job was to motivate the employees. It wasn't like an outward facing job. Mine, unfortunately, is more outward facing.
Nothing wrong with that. So, Lori, you were on our 30th episode many, many moons ago. Ryan, this is episode 112, I think. 112?
Where the players dwell.
Where the players dwell. Oh, you got to play that song. You got to play it. You don't even know who I'm talking about, Joelle?
No.
Lori, you know 112.
Keep going.
You remember
I don't think Lori's a 112
R&B
fan.
group?
The what?
It's an R&B group. Sorry, Fern and I are twins. We come from a different...
we were separated at birth, and no
112.
one knows this. Like, our parents kept a big secret from us. We believe it.
112?
It's an
112.
R&B group. It's okay.
Oh.
I've never heard of him.
Oh, I need to know where we stand. Do we share this special thing called love?
I know I
Man,
do.
that's it. No ringing, no bells.
No.
It's okay. We're from Miami.
It's all right.
Fern, the singing lessons are working for
It's working. You see, I'm working on this. We're going to get there, Ryan.
What era is this? 80s?
90s.
90s.
Late 90s.
Late 90s, early 2000s. When music died. I've become that person, guys. I've become that person that, like, my music of my era is the last time that good music was made. It's sad.
So, Fern,
Freshisms.
that means that we're not really Next Gen, but Lori was at Next Gen, and she did one hell of a presentation.
Don't even get me started with that.
All right, so let's start by saying
Don't even get
I
me started.
unfortunately wasn't there. So this, I'm very sad that I missed it, but I'm ridiculously excited to talk about that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I was a Lori fan before that. But I sat there with Mimi. I believe I sat there with Mimi.
Crying.
And you know how I am about trying to take care of the people and trying to always trying to be like, empathetic, trying to like,
You're an evangelist, and
No. You don't understand. When she was talking about it, she touched me in a way, and I say touched me because she is so fucking smart to use movie clips as a way to get to you.
Oh, that's how we talk.
That was brilliant because I'm like, wow, and like, I'm all about that stuff. And after, talking to the great Alex Perez and listening to Lori's seminar, and, I have to start over. I'm missing a lot of stuff. That really you have to reprogram yourself.
Yeah.
Especially when you're an older person like me and you've done so many things for so long, your patience wears thin. You don't have time. And I don't know if that was recorded, but if it was, I'd love for you to watch it because
Is
what she
there a
was saying-
recording?
No.
I don't think so.
There should have
Ryan,
been.
that
There
you're on
definitely-
the-
Shame
I don't
on
know
you,
if they
SAF.
record
You
it.
need to
You know
record these things.
You know, they used to record them.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I know it's very expensive to have recording and to stream that stuff. So from
Yeah.
the shows, so they might not have had that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
should because it was so good. It could be sold online. It was that good. I really enjoyed it and I really learned from it. And I said, man, I got a lot to learn. But I've been giving it a lot of thought. I've been giving it a lot of thought since that day. And I had a conversation yesterday with somebody who works here, been working for me for a long, long time. Somebody who I count on and somebody who is what I call in the classification as close to irreplaceable as possible, right? So if you want to be successful at your job, you always your goal is to make you as close to being irreplaceable as possible. Why do I say that? Because the boss has to say to himself, well, geez, I could get rid of this guy, but how inconvenient would it be? And what's it going to really cost me to get rid of that guy? Rather than let me try to work with this person and try to salvage it and make it work and not have to even go through that stress or that expense or not inconvenience or to just have a couple of weeks of being sad because you had that bad situation. But and I'm really glad that you're here because you can give me some advice right now. How do you be empathetic to someone or people, I won't single out one person, that are bullshitting you and you know it, or telling you stuff that just ain't true, or just like making it up as you go along, and you just know it. You just know it's not true. You just know it's bullshit. How does one remain empathetic to that as a leader? I can't do it. I have so much trouble doing that, and I want to, but I'm like, why would I give you that if you're giving me this? If that makes any sense. I don't know. Does that make any sense, Ryan?
100%. 100%. So I had to put on my old people glasses for this. No, and that is the hardest thing, Mike, for people like you and I that are naturally empathetic. I mean, like our heart wants to do the right thing. We tend to be givers, or our natural instinct is, but as we grow older, you're right, our patience lessens and lessens. Those people, the takers in the world that play off of the people that are empathetic, and they know they're manipulators. There's a book I'm reading about boundaries right now. If you'll remember, the first type of empathy I talked about was cognitive empathy. And that is where it's not as emotional, it's more intellectual.
That's the one with
I
the
know we're on a
Armageddon.
podcast, but I'm using my hands.
That's where you show
What?
the Armageddon clip, right?
I showed the Apollo
13.
Come on, man.
Sorry,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
It's Apollo
same thing.
13.
Armageddon
Sorry.
would have worked.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
that would have worked too.
Also,
The
so you know, I watched that movie on the plane going home.
Did you? Yes, such a good movie. One of my
Yeah.
such a good movie.
Yeah.
How do you get them back? Right. So all of those engineers had to put their emotions aside because these were their friends, right? These astronauts, they had relationship with these people, but their job, they had to use their intellect, not their emotions. They had to use their intellect to get them back.
And they had
So-
the entire world counting on them to
they had
figure it
the
out.
entire world. So you talk about pressure. So this is where your cognitive has to kick in. Discernment, Mike, has to rise above your empathy. So you got to use logic, brain, and you have to really learning a lot about what is best. I think we even talked about this in my presentation at the end with the Q&A. I know he or she, whatever their pronouns are, is manipulating me Are they toxic for my environment? It doesn't matter how I feel about them. It doesn't matter about their sales, all of that kind of stuff. If they are toxic and if they are lying consistently, they have to leave. If they are not abiding by the rules that I have in place in my company, no matter how I feel, they have to go. You have to separate those things.
So rules are like boundaries, basically.
The rules are in place. We have laws. There are stop signs. There are stop lights. We wear seatbelts. Rules are in place for a reason. Rules are in place for companies for a reason. We all have to abide by them, because here's what happens. You let this person slide a little bit because your heart's like, well, let's give him another chance. I know he's lying, but let's just kind of whatever. Somebody's going to notice. Another employee's going to notice. Somebody else is going to start going, well, either that's not fair. I'm dealing with a shop right now within our company that's going through this. They have a toxic employee. Their co-owners, one owner loves this employee. This employee is, I'm not going to say old, but let's use the word seasoned. They are toxic and nobody else likes them but this owner. They will not get rid of them. There is a revolving door of employees going on right now because they see this employee is ruining everybody's life. They're losing other potential designers. They're losing other potential great salespeople because of what this person gets away with, and the owner just lets them look the other way because their heart, they feel sorry for this person. They need to give them another chance, blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But
and it's hard.
In our case, as we've grown, we've tried desperately to remain a family atmosphere.
Yeah.
So that gets harder and harder over time.
Yeah.
To do that, and the certain individuals here, they're more than just an employee. They are like family, and in these cases, they're huge contributors in many ways. And a lot of times, and what I was talking about yesterday, a lot of times it's not even their fault to an extent because the company outgrows you.
Yes.
You can only have so much responsibility until the company outgrows you. And I believe that's part of it, and a lot of that's my fault. But I just have a problem showing the empathy that I want to when I know I'm being bullshitted.
I mean, even in a house and even in a family, there's a level of respect. Like, we're raised as children. This is your house. You treat it right. This is your family. I would never go to my grandmother's house and,
right,
disrespect my grandmother. And I think that, I mean, that's the whole thing. I think there's as beautiful as it is to say that we are a family, when you're running a business like that, and there's a lot of culture right now that's anti-treating a company with the family idea. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
Mimi, that's what I was going to say.
Because of this, exactly. Which, I mean, as your employee, I appreciate the way you run your business. And this is the reason why I left a culture that was the opposite of that. But, I mean, you have to have an appreciation of those kind of things, as, and maybe because that person has been with you for so long, a reset as far as like something, you know what I mean? Like,
which is why I had to sit down yesterday about it,
right.
Because I don't want it to come to that. I wanted to reset. I wanted to get a fresh start.
Right.
And I want to get some of the pressure off, because sometimes people that work for you, they carry a big load on their back and they don't come to you and talk to you about it. They just carry it for you, and they don't, and carrying it for you, whether you know it or not, could be affecting them. And that a lot of times bosses are busy. They just can't notice everything. And the more people you have working for you, the less obvious it becomes that these people are they're carrying this big weight on their backs for you, and they're really trying, but they have a life too. They have personal problems too. They have things that goes on outside of these walls. So I'm trying to. What are you wiggling at? Coffee?
Mercedes coffee. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I just like you got to realize this stuff, and a lot of this, what I realized. Look at Ryan.
Oh, I want one of those.
Ryan's
No,
reaching through the Zoom for one. We need a picture
You
of that.
guys, so I don't mean to digress, but what you're drinking, what are those things called?
Cafecito?
The Cuban coffee.
Okay. So did you know when we were in Miami, the very first Next Gen? I'm so stupid. We were doing the tours, right? On tour day.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere we stopped at, I think the first stop was Armelini's. And they were giving those out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these are so good.
Yikes.
And I had like 3 of them. I had no idea what they were. And then the next stop, I can't remember where we were, but I had more. How many have you had? I had like 6 by this point.
Oh, no,
Lori,
you didn't.
Lori, you can't have that. I was like climbing up the walls in the cargo.
They call it a Cuban Cuban crack, right?
It's literally, it's
That's what she was
borderline.
calling it.
It is borderline illegal. If you ask me, it should be
I was
limited.
a mess. I think honestly, I had a total of like 4.5, and I stopped. I was a mess, and I was so tired by the end of the day. But my brain shut down.
It's funny because my oldest has ADHD, and when I didn't want to medicate him, and I was talking to some professionals. They're like, you might want to give him some coffee in the morning. So in the morning, I start making the espresso, and my husband's like, girl, they're not talking about that kind of coffee. Don't give him that. They're talking about like Folgers.
Regular coffee for regular people.
Mountain
this Cuban
Dew,
stuff
they
is
have,
out of control.
they say just to give that neurons, like wake them up in the morning, right? And my husband's like, don't you ever give those kids that.
Well, like my Cuban grandmother. I mean, she's been given every grandkid.
Yeah, but you
every
dilute
kid,
it with the
every
milk.
No, I mean,
Yes.
yeah, maybe, but the kids are still getting a cup of coffee, half 3/4 milk, 1/4.
How do they survive a whole day without like going to the bathroom? Because that's crazy. Like I wouldn't be able to digest that much.
I don't know. That's crazy. So
Laura,
okay, Mike, I have a question for you though.
These guys line up these cups in the morning. They it depends on the level of how tired they are and how many days they worked.
Is how many cups we get.
It could be like 3 or 4 in a line.
Wow.
All they need to do is put it on a mirror and get a straw. They're lined up.
If I could get an IV, if I could get Cuban coffee through an IV and get it into my bloodstream faster, I would.
It's delicious. It is absolutely like nothing I have ever had in my life. It's so good. And it's probably good I don't have it here in Houston, Texas. I'm sure we have it somewhere, but not where I am. So, okay, Mike, I have a question for you. You were saying that, you want to be able to check in with your employees, but, you don't have to always have time. Do you have like a second in command on staff, like a go-to person?
Yes, it's right here.
Okay. So, Fern, are you someone that can the two of you divide up and like say, hey, every couple of weeks, we're going to make sure we have like a 5-minute check-in with each employee and just
see, that's a great idea.
You doing all right?
That's a great idea. I know me and Mike are continuously checking in on people. And the problem might be is that me and Mike may not be talking about what we're talking to these other individuals with, or sometimes, we should schedule something like that where we're having a 5-minute meeting, just seeing how people are doing, how's it going, not like a performance review, but more of just how are you personally?
How are you doing, and how can I help? Those are
but it can't be bullshit. That's the thing. It can't be bullshit. Like I really wish you would have watched Laurie's seminar. What? It's like you know the person's not doing well, but you say, "Hey, how are you doing?" and just keep walking. Instead of stopping and saying, "Hey,
putting down the phone, giving 100%
how are
body
you doing?
language.
What's going on?"
I think Fern
You know?
does.
Right.
And the good thing, I have to say that this relationship, the two fat guys, they complement each other because they are so different. Like they might have the same goals for business, but when you talk to Fern, you're talking to a different type of, I think he's got like more compassion, and then Mike is a little bit more empathetic. So it's like you have these two. So if you guys were to do that, I would totally suggest doing it to the different employees so that the people
switch
have
off.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So when I started in this industry, I worked at a few small companies, and I made it to Real Roses, Equiflor. When I got to Equiflor, I took, you take those personality tests. I was an ETNJ, but almost borderline ITNJ or something like that, because I'm kind of like an introvert, extrovert kind of person. And then Barry Gottlieb had me take like an emotional test, and I literally had zero empathy. Like I was negative in empathy.
Really?
I was negative when I took this test. And young, I mean, this was 21 years ago. I mean, this is a long time ago, and I remember the test was really geared towards business and how you act and what you expect and how do you handle these kind of situations and stuff like that. And I've worked really hard to be a little more empathetic, but I'd agree. I'm definitely a lot more compassionate.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got to be more where it's not bullshit empathy, that it's like it's for real empathy. Like it's not an act just to get people to go your way. It's got to be something like.
But then if you're forcing it, then it's fake. So
Right.
then that's where
That's
it's
what I'm
bullshit.
saying.
Yeah.
That's my
I
point.
get you.
It's like you can't just say, "Okay, I'm going to be empathetic today." It's like you need to.
I mean, but you have
reprogram
several
yourself.
managers that are responsible for those people, and I think if you lead by example to them, then you're getting, Ryan checks in with us.
I try
all the
to,
time.
but you can
It's
miss
also like
shit.
therapy. Therapy's a process.
You miss a lot
It
of
takes
things.
time.
It
Maybe
is
the
not
first
easy.
time you check in might not get something, but the more you do it, the more you create a space of comfort and safe space where they can open up to you.
Yeah.
And then I think down the line you might see more results in that way. But
a few years ago,
starting
I
that
lost
is a
somebody, an employee here that was near and dear to me because I didn't see anything. I didn't know that there was a problem. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. And that was a big lesson for me. And that's why I'm into more people's business than I was before, because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything, that I don't leave any stone uncovered. I want to make sure that I'm always asking.
That's kind of the problem of the family business dynamic of not having like an HR or something like that, where a lot of that responsibility is put onto one or two people, and maybe they're not the best people to have these conversations with at certain times. So it doesn't really give enough of a free space to go to for those things.
How old was that employee, if you don't mind me, or age range?
Early 30s, I believe.
Yeah. That's if you listen to like Simon Sinek or any of those thought
Constantly
leaders.
listen to him.
Love that guy.
You do?
I forward those like TikToks from him and stuff to the management.
I love him
all the time.
I love him.
Me
He's one
too.
of my favorites. He will tell you.
How does he think all that shit? Like,
I don't know. I just love him.
He's amazing.
I've always wondered if guys like that have writers or something, because I mean the amount of knowledge that comes out of that man's mouth continuously.
He has books.
Several different. He does have books.
Yeah. He has books, and he's got master classes. But he said, like the millennial age, the millennials, and even Gen Z, they are the ones that will just leave. They are not going to be confrontational. They're just going to leave the job.
Yeah.
And those are the ones you have to look out for. So more than like, I'm Gen X. So before I leave the job, like I'm going to go to Vonda 25 times and go, look, I don't want to leave, but here's what I'm struggling with. Right. Like, I'm going to try to make it work because I am so loyal. But
There's something I want to respect about that now we're teaching children to set the boundaries from very early on. And I think that that's something that takes time, to reprogram yourself to say that. Because I was crying, ask Mike, the entire presentation. No, during the presentation. and
she was.
And I honestly, I thought for myself, I just felt like, holy crap, it's not a bad thing for me to be as empathetic. Like, it's okay. Maybe I have to go through and do some homework and work on it. But when I think I went up to you and I just was like, I need to hug you, Lori. Like I needed to.
Me too. I did the same thing.
Yeah. I was like, I need to say thank you because it did open up some stuff. And I did do a lot of I'm working on stuff now, but constantly I'm being told as an empath that you're too much. Don't say no, like do all these things. And it's good to have that kind of information in a professional aspect. Like, so I was so appreciative of SAF and obviously for all the work that you put into that presentation.
It was brilliant. And let me tell you something. The Flower Clique is very fortunate to have you on board because, I didn't see that coming with you. I had no idea that you were like a professor to teach us something. Really, that's what I saw that of you. I saw that of you, and I think that you could
Well, yeah.
I don't know, but
there should be.
I would love for you to come and speak at our next Fresh Fest and stuff. I thought it was great. I thought everybody got something out of it. I don't care how old or young you are. If an old bull like me could get something out of that and take something away, then I'm sure all the younger people that were there took something away. Even if it was just one little piece.
Well, Sam told us that he also reached out to Lori. Lori, do you have a Delilah line at this point? That's what you should have. I'm calling in. I'm having this. What is it? Rhonda, Delilah? I forget her name.
Yeah. Sam actually sent me a card, a handwritten card. Sam Bowles did.
With a stuffed
thank you
animal
for my present. And I cried.
With a piñata?
It was the sweetest thing because it was just from him and his girls because they keep talking about my birthday. Yeah. You got to know, I did not set out to make people cry. My heart was not that wasn't my motivation in this. When SAF asked me to speak on this, it was just because I did book club for Next Gen, and I did it. That was it. I taught this book back here because my friend wrote the book, and so I was like, "Hey, this is a great book. I want to help push her book." And she wrote it for basically businesses to read to help develop empathy. But I took some stuff from her book, but I really was I just kind of want to, develop this. And SAF was it doesn't even have to be about flowers. They just wanted me to set the tone kind of for I don't know. So I can't even tell you how all that content came about. It was just in my brain and in my heart. And
But it has to help in business because that's the whole thing with Flower Clique. You guys are so personalized. You're offering such a personal service and business training, correct?
Yeah. So I think we joke about the hardest thing for us on the planet is to answer the question, what is Flower Clique? It's so hard.
What isn't Flower Clique?
Yeah,
I watched Ellie's interview with Uncle Willie last night.
Nice.
She did great.
Yeah, it was really good. She explained everything.
Yeah.
She did. She did so good. And I was like, golly, she did great. Because I was on a call this morning because people are always scheduling on my calendar because they want to know what Flower Clique is. And so I jumped on a call with them and I just want to say, what do you want it to be? What is it you need? And I'll tell you if we can help you or not. But, the long and the short of it is we don't host websites. I always say we enhance websites. So we take existing flower shops websites and we merchandise them with our custom images. We do all the photo shoots. We develop all the rest bundles they can order. About 50% of our members even use our bundles. The other 50, the majority of them have great relationships with their wholesalers. A lot of our members use JetFresh. They're big JetFresh groupies on there. And so we do email marketing, we do social media, we do just really a lot. But the biggest thing, I think, if you were to ask our members about us, is just our community. Like, we are a super tight knit community. We joke about how we're not for everyone. We're for a progressive force. We're for somebody that wants to grow. We want somebody that's open to try new things, like new trends, new color palettes, new all of this stuff. The few, like, I can count on my hands since 2020, one hand, the amount that have joined and then thought, you know what, it's not for us. And those are usually those shops that are really set in their ways, that only like, tall, traditional, I don't want to mention wire services, but certain images. And that's fine. We probably shouldn't have ever had them join in the first place. But that's pretty much what we do. We are geo-exclusive, which I think a lot of people don't know. So that means if you become a Flower Clique member, nobody else in your delivery area.
That's what I learned from Ellie's podcast yesterday.
What is that called?
Geo-exclusive.
Oh, wow.
So in that area,
when you say delivery area, you mean that zip code or that?
Well, if you say 25 miles within that area.
Yeah, within like 20 miles, that I will say we have some members that are within the same delivery area, but that happens because we'll call that member and say, hey, so-and-so is in your same area. And they have just reached out to me and they're like, oh my gosh, they're one of my best friends. Yeah, we don't care. We share stuff all the time.
Right.
Nice.
I was going to ask, is there a time period that you offer that for only?
Nice
or is it
people.
That's nice.
You won't have that happen
really
in Miami.
We always make
chance.
that call. And
I'm going to buy the bare minimum from you.
A lot of times shops don't care.
Yeah.
We have two product mixes, a mix 1 and a mix 2. So we can have two people in that area and they would look totally different.
Oh, that's cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we have a complete different sympathy. I mean, we've done a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. Yeah.
A lot of work.
So hold on. We didn't even get to the good parts.
Yeah.
Where'd you come from?
How'd you get here? That was great. I like that.
I knew he was gonna say that. But a more interesting question to ask is like, how did Vonda and Ellie and you find each other?
Oh, okay.
That's I think a question we haven't asked before, right?
So we were all working a company prior to Flower Clique. We were all working for Team Floral, which is another company. And they
never heard of them.
Hold on. Was that your first floral job? Or
yes,
first
I
floral?
was a teacher. I was a school teacher.
And a cheerleader.
And a cheerleading coach.
I could totally see you as the cheer coach. Totally see that.
A good one. I was strict. Rode on that basketball bus with all of those amazing girls at the front, boys
aggressive.
at the back. There was no purpling on my bus. Do you know what purpling is?
What is purpling?
What is purpling?
Well, boys were blue, girls were pink. There's no purpling. So I was big into that. Anyway.
Fern would have been purpling.
I'd found a way. I would have found a way to
Fern
purple.
would be
They were purpling when she wasn't looking.
Probably.
Fern would have been magenta, like purpling with all different.
Whoa, hey, I am a gentleman, okay? God,
Exactly.
Especially in the back of the bus.
Anyway, so I had no experience in this industry, and my sister had gone out on a date with a guy. And anyway, it's a long story. They ended up just being friends. I was friends with the guy, got a job working for his company. And that's how I met Vonda and Ellie. And then worked there for many years as just kind of a salesperson, customer service person in this industry.
What were you guys selling? What products?
Well, website merchandising. And then he started moving in more towards wanting to sell SEO stuff. And I didn't really understand what SEO was, nor did it entertain.
No,
I am the type of person, if it doesn't interest me, I'm probably not going to do it. Like, I'm not going to be, my attention span is relatively short. So anyway, I decided that I would retire from that company. So in October of 2019, I retired. And then month of
Is a retire mean you quit? Yeah, it's a nice way to say I quitting.
I quit.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here. Okay.
You got a way with words, Lori.
Yeah.
I quit. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I just do. And then I decided I was going to quit and I was going to go to Colorado. I went, my husband and I went skiing, and then Vonda and Ellie quit, and they decided to create Flower Clique. And then they called me and said, we're going to create this new company and we need you. And I was like, okay. So that's January of 2020. I jumped on board.
That's right. You guys started right before
and then the next, and Cammie jumped on board. And then a month later, the pandemic hit.
Well, I like the way that you said retire, because you basically reinvented yourself. You came back.
I did. And I didn't know if I was going to work. I didn't really care. I mean, my husband didn't really care. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll figure it out. But I knew if I did something, it had to be fun. It had to entertain me. And I remember being on the phone with them and them telling me what we were going to be doing. And I was like, okay, I'll give you 2 years. We'll see. And here I am, 4 years, no end in sight. Who knows?
Waiting list.
And I left.
With a waiting list. Look at that.
And how big is your team now? Even though you got through COVID and
like 10 people, 10, and we're all women. And I tell people, like, we don't mean to be all women. It just is what it is.
But doesn't being all women give you a leg up in a lot of cases?
I think so. I think we're just really hard workers. Everyone's virtual. And everyone's just really grateful to be able to work from home too. So the women that are working we're just really hard workers. Not that men aren't hard workers, but I don't know. We just have a really well-oiled machine right now. We have a newer woman that she was actually a Flower Clique member. She was a manager of a shop, and then she retired. She and her husband moved to Florida. She's one of our salespeople, and she is just knocking it out of the park.
Nice.
Because she knows everything about Flower Clique because she was a Flower Clique member. So it's great. It's great. So we're
You're also the co-host of your own podcast, The Business and Pleasure of Flowers, right? When did you guys start that? That's you and Vonda, right?
That's Vonda and I, and that was another thing that I told Vonda, okay, I'll do it for a year.
You're on like 200 and something episodes.
That's why she's reading how to set boundaries. She's like,
Yes, I'm reading the Boundaries and Goodbyes book, and it's not helping me so far. But that's something Vonda always wanted to try, and I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll be your wingman. And we do it, and it's been great. I mean, it's crazy, and I know you guys feel this way too. Every time we go somewhere, like we were just in Des Moines, Iowa, we did a sympathy design show there. Vonda and Ellie and I did. She did the design, and then Ellie and I did like a marketing sales thing, and all of these people were there, and so many people came up and were like, oh, I've always wanted to meet you. I listened to your podcast. I'm like, you do? Oh my gosh.
I sent Lori a message because I was listening to one of their podcasts while I was cooking dinner, and I'm laughing hysterically because she's talking about raccoons and how she loves raccoons. And I'm like,
possum and raccoons.
Oh my God, wait a second. I have to tell her. I'm like, Lori, I love them too.
I know. It's crazy. And everywhere we go, we're like, oh, I hear your voice. It's so, oh my gosh, your voice. I know you. You do? Okay. So
yeah, I like that podcast. It's really good. You guys do a great
and
job.
Vonda is a stickler on it only being 30 minutes.
Yeah.
How nice is that?
Speaking of that.
As an editor, yes, Ryan, you love it.
I've actually have.
I've been looking for the timer, Ryan.
Because
There's
Ryan's
No,
not
I was
here.
literally looking up a timer sound effect at a certain point so that I can give you guys a warning. Because every episode we say we're going to be an hour, and it's an hour 20, no matter what.
We've
Really?
gotten better. They used to be 2 hours
It used to
long.
be an hour 40. Yeah, it
It's
used to be
not
an hour
our
40,
fault.
so
it's that
we're
we
getting
have
there.
so many great guests. That's the problem.
It is
Right,
a
right, yeah.
good
And the
bad
conversation
problem,
just
as
goes
Mike
there. We
would
can't-
say. It's a good bad problem.
And we don't want to make anybody miss out on like any golds that we have to remove.
Yeah.
It's too much good stuff.
Yeah.
So I like to think
Yeah.
that our podcast, in some cases, it ain't all business, right? I like
Yeah.
to,
I like yours because you have the conversation. I love the conversation part.
yeah, just the joking around and stuff. I kind of like.
It's my favorite part.
That's the fun part. I think.
It's where you get to know the people. In the
Yeah.
summertime, I'll tell you, I like to be in my pool and listen to your podcast. I'm just floating around listening, and it's kind of chill.
I'm going to
So
try
you're
and
the
remember that. I'm going to
I'm
shout
the
you out
one.
in the
I'm the
summer.
one listening while I'm laying out in the pool. Just kind of
Nothing wrong with that. How's Houston treating you? I know you're originally from Oklahoma.
I am originally from Oklahoma, born and raised, went to University of Oklahoma, and then got married, got transferred to Houston, then got transferred to Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, man.
No Browns. I was a big Cleveland Browns fan for 15 years. Then we got transferred back to Houston.
So A&M, or you rooting U of O?
Oh no, I'm a Sooner. I'm Baker Mayfield will always be.
Oh, so that worked out for you when you went to Cleveland. It was perfect.
Well, I cried when he got drafted to Cleveland because Cleveland is a factory of sadness, and
Cleveland is where football dreams go to die. Poor people.
Yeah, it's funny because most, Cleveland, you have the jerseys, and the funniest thing is most people have like duct tape with all the different quarterbacks going. It's fun being a Cleveland Browns fan because you're just like, yeah, there's always next year.
It's kind of like being a Miami Dolphins or a New York Jets fan. I promise
There you go.
We are kings of mediocrity.
Cowboy fan too.
Oh, a Cowboy fan. We're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
Don't even buy jerseys anymore.
I gave up on it. I gave up on it.
We went to the Browns played the Texans here this year. And so some friends of ours who are in Austin that are Cleveland transplants came over, and we all went, and it was a big Cleveland block part, the whole thing. And we had such high hopes for 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Yeah. And after that, you're going down, you're like hugging each other, going, it's okay. Even the Texan fans are like, sorry. You're like, it's okay. We're used to it. It's just, it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. We had some excitement as a Dolphins fan this year. The Jets started the year super crazy. Oh my God, we got Aaron Rodgers. He didn't even play 10 minutes of a game.
He didn't play. I was going to say he was
10 minutes.
injured.
He did more during the warm-ups than he did all season. I mean, it's rough. It's rough being a sports fan, let me tell you.
And then the replacement had like the deer in the headlights the whole rest of the season. Like, oh, crap.
Not meant to be.
Yeah. No, it's no fun. It's no fun. I'm very sad that I missed your Next Gen speech. I'm very sad.
I'm sorry.
I'm with
I have had a couple of people reach out and see if I would come and do it, at their whatever.
Do you still have the slides or the presentation somewhere saved?
Yeah, I have it.
So I suppose you could always, if somebody wants it, could you email that out if somebody requested that?
Sure, I could.
Could I get a copy of that?
But there's nothing like Lori giving the examples or her explaining.
I would love for her to come.
No,
to
of
next
course,
Fresh
obviously
Fest.
you need both.
No,
but,
yeah.
All right, so you got to come to Fresh Fest, Lori. It's sometime
Tell
next
me
year.
about Fresh Fest.
Or maybe the year after.
25.
2025?
2025,
Yeah.
you're going to get invited to speak at Fresh Fest, where we're going to have
yeah.
all of our jet freshers come in, and we have a unique
we'll do.
experience. And then, yeah, it's
Make
just
everybody cry. I don't want to make
no,
cry.
but you know,
Maybe we do. Like, well,
the-
let's lean
the-
into that. Like, maybe everybody needs a good cry.
The-
A
during the
good
trade
cry is
Listen.
a great thing.
everybody that was crying, which
If anyone needs a good cry, I recommend you go on to Netflix and watch a movie. If you're a dog person, especially, watch the movie Megan Levy. It's called Megan.
What's it
Levy.
called?
Megan Levy.
I haven't heard of it.
Megan?
I never heard of it
Megan Levy.
either. It was just randomly popped on my Netflix last night, and I started watching it.
You just click go. You're like, all right, fuck it, let's do it.
Well, I see dogs. It's a story about a young lady who joins the military and then finds her way into being a dog
Oh.
handler, and they just show their journey in Iraq together. And it's like really sad, and it's really happy, and it's I don't really cry so easy, and it definitely was a tearjerker for sure.
So the funny thing
wow.
is that when I was younger, I had no empathy. Like I wouldn't cry for anything unless it was an animal. So we went to see Legends of the Fall, and everybody's crying in the movie theater, and then all of a sudden the horses fall, and I'm crying hysterically. My mom's like, "Those are robotic horses. Why are you crying?"
Wow.
So I can't
Wait a
watch
minute.
dog movies.
You cry.
Now
All
I
the
cry for
time.
everything. I don't know, but that's what I'm
What
saying. Like
happened?
the good thing is that
She found her empathy.
yeah. Trust me. When I had the kids, for a long time it was freaky.
Motherhood, yeah.
All those people that I would meet that I had like problems with at work, I would legit focus on them being like somebody's child. And how am I going to talk to this person now? Because even though they made me cry or they treated me bad, I looked at them like, okay, something happened to this person, and he's just reacting to something that happened to him before. That's why he's doing this to me. So that's when I became a real empath.
Have you guys as a team ever done the Strength Finders quiz?
No.
You should do that. We did it as a employee team. It's called Clifton Strength Finders. I have the book, but you can just do the online quiz. It's really interesting to see which employee has which strengths. They're labeled under executing, influencing, relationship building, or strategic thinking. And so Ellie and I, when we have monthly all staff meetings. And so like every quarter, Ellie and I are kind of in charge of doing some sort of team building type thing. And so we had them all take this quiz, and then she made this chart. And it was so fascinating to see and how everyone in their job, the key is to make sure everyone is in the right role, right? Like you want relationship builders in forward-facing jobs with customers, right? You don't want strategic thinkers in relationship building jobs type of thing, right? You want all of these things. Anyway, it's fascinating. But my point is,
Let's do that.
I took a
my
screenshot.
number
I
one
searched it up.
and number is empathy. So like off the charts. So I have individualization, empathy. I'm a developer. Like I love to develop people. That's what I do.
Me too.
4 out of my 5 are under relationship building, and my 5th is under influencing. And that is, I'm a wooer. Isn't that weird? It's called a woo, meaning I love to like influence people, motivate them to do stuff.
Are you also like a matchmaker of sorts?
Yeah,
Do you
I
like
would
to
be a
put
great
people
matchmaker.
together with
Fern's a wooer.
Yeah.
Woo woo woo.
Woo, woo. So anyway, it's really a great quiz to make sure your people are in the right positions. And if they're not, maybe there's something else they'd rather be doing that would be better fit them. Like our web team, what they're, that man does all the web stuff, execution, the majority of them were under executing. Like they're so good. They love consistency. They love doing the exact same thing every time. They love executing it. I have nothing. I'm the worst. If I had to do the same thing every day, I'd quit my job. Like that'd be horrible for me. I want to wake up and go, what are we going to do today? It's a brand new day.
I pretty much do the
Who
same
am I
thing
gonna
every
talk
day.
No,
Do
you're
you?
constantly
Problem to solve
doing
every
something.
day.
You might be doing the
there's
same
too
thing,
many
but you have a
challenges
different
that
challenge
come
every
up.
day, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, I want a different challenge. I might know what's on my calendar, but I want a different challenge. I want to talk. I don't know what my conversations are going to be. I want to talk to people, that kind of thing. I want to brainstorm. I want to be people facing. I don't want to be behind a computer, quiet, uploading things. That would be my nightmare, or working on a spreadsheet would be my nightmare.
Did any of you guys ever take one of those job placement tests? Like what you take the test and it tells you what job you'd be good for?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have, yes.
What was that
many
test we
times.
took years ago with Mike Cady?
That was
The
the
EFTJ.
ENTJ, the personality test.
Oh.
Yeah. The Myers-Briggs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the job you got, Lori, when you did those tests?
pastor, counselor,
Uh-huh. Okay.
teacher,
Right up the same alley. It's interesting.
all of the same things.
I
Yeah.
don't
What about you?
remember.
I never took
I don't
those
remember
tests.
what jobs
yeah.
they gave
I
me.
took it and I
know
got
one was a police officer.
right. I took it and I got teacher and like anything in the arts field. So yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I wish I
like
was-
I would have been a good
Kinda like marketing.
curator or whatever. That's what I wanted to study. Yeah. Huh? Kind of like what?
Kind of like marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of art.
I think secretly I really would have probably been a better teacher than a marketer. I think so. Yeah.
You're a special human. You're always a very giving person. You always want to support everybody.
Yeah. But it's good. It's good that you did that. And you cried because even Nicole was next to me. She was crying. I'm telling you, you changed a lot of, it was good
Yeah.
tears. Yeah. Yeah. So, and it was
My
funny. It
God, we need that at Fresh Fest.
was,
I
and,
walked downstairs saying, I got to step up.
and it
my
wasn't just
game.
We're
women
gonna
that I
have
saw.
tissues. We're gonna
Yeah.
have tissues taped underneath.
There
all the
should have been
seats.
tissues at
Ready-
every table.
yeah,
I
ready to
really
go.
think so.
And then a
Ryan, did you
golden
cry?
ticket.
And you know what? You know what scene really got me actually was the Anne Hathaway one.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That got me too.
Yeah, that
That's when I was getting choked up.
Yeah, that scene hit home for me.
That was hard.
What movie
That
was that?
That's a show. It's called
Modern Love, I think.
Modern
No, is
Love.
that what-
Yeah. And they
Never seen
actually, it's on Amazon Prime and you can watch it. It's basically different love stories. It's New York Times stories about love, but like unconventional types
Different
of
kinds of
relationships.
love.
Different
yeah.
kinds of love, right?
But
Yeah.
the genius was using movies that the world is familiar with to
Yeah.
make your point.
Yeah.
Using that little 2-minute clip or whatever it was.
To get your point across.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. To make
Yeah,
you
me too.
understand
It's really
what
good.
she's talking about.
To put you in the scenario.
Yeah.
And they have Indian version of Modern Love. They have a bunch of different
Indian
versions.
version.
Yeah. Like no, from like for real. It's so they have all these different stories which they're really good. My favorite episode which it's funny when you have stuff like movies that help you realize things there was an episode with Tina Fey and the guy from Mad Men where they're
Yes.
going through therapy
Yes.
and they get their
John Hamm.
No, it wasn't John Hamm, it was the other one, Slater.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going through they're
With their
going
marriage?
through a therapy and they're basically ready to get a divorce, both of them.
Yeah.
And then somehow they start playing tennis together. And within the therapy didn't really work for them because they constantly were not working together. And the playing tennis together helped them work together. And then they ended up saving their marriage by playing tennis. I immediately was like, I'll take up fishing. And Oliver's like, no.
That's my
Not
alone
happening.
time.
That's my alone time.
Lori, when is your next speaking engagement?
SAF?
June, I am speaking Vonda and I both are at the Texas State. Oh gosh, I don't remember the name of it. It's in San Antonio. Texas State Floral Association
Yeah.
asked us to speak.
That's a big show. Nice.
Yeah. And
Fern loves
we
San
are-
Antonio.
Absolutely love San Antonio.
Yeah. We're gonna do that. And then we're going to AIFD. And then I don't know what
I'll see you at AIFD.
Are you
Vonda,
going?
yes.
You and Mimi are.
Me and Mimi will be speaking.
You'll be there,
Uh,
Ryan?
Ryan will be there.
Good.
We're gonna have a
talked
good
Ellie
crew.
into going. So
Great.
Ellie's,
Oh, nice.
she wasn't going, but I guilted her into it.
Yeah.
So
Last
Good.
year,
I did my job.
last year I went for the first time, and Vonda gave me the most amazing behind the scenes tour of
Yes.
everything going on and how, people prepping and making these amazing displays and how everything gets done underneath, and you're in a hotel and the floor is plasticed up and everybody's working and they're doing their job, and it's this ginormous production underneath the hotel. It was crazy.
The level of artistry and professionalism, like every
It's
stem
amazing.
counts there, like every single stem. It's crazy.
And they put something to use somewhere. If and you see people, hey, do you have any extra this? And everyone was sharing flowers, and everyone was pulling ideas from everybody. It was just like,
and it's all
my
volunteers.
mind went.
It's all volunteers.
All of it. It's
Yeah.
amazing, and it's a lot of work. It's really tough work.
it's crazy there. Hey, I want to show you all something. Hold on.
Do you
Look at
need
my
to share?
background.
Oh.
Questions?
Is that Miss Piggy?
Sorry, they're my background.
Lori's showing her
Nice.
background of her beautiful phone with some Miss Piggies, bright pink Miss Piggies.
I have to tell you, I cried when I opened those. I was so surprised, and I love them. They are my absolute favorite flower in the world. In the world.
Love
I got a
it.
feeling there's another box heading your way.
What? You can almost bet on it.
I don't know if you guys completely understand. You do know my entire bedroom was Miss Piggy.
Oh yeah.
I told you that. And I still have, and I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to tag you guys in it. I still have my 2 Miss Piggy coffee mugs from grade school and my Miss Piggy piggy bank. And the sad part is, and Ellie will tell you, I had my Miss Piggy bedroom too long. Like I was too old.
Hold on. What is too long? What is too long?
I was
Were you a
probably-
teacher? You still in college, or we're talking beyond that?
No. I was probably like still 6th grade. Like I was probably too old, but I was
Debatable.
a young, innocent little girl. But
Middle
I
school.
just loved
Middle school hit you hard.
early middle school.
Gotta
Well,
bring it back.
back then it wasn't
Miss
middle school
Piggy
yet.
at
6th grade
Disney.
was still in element.
Oh, I love
I was gonna
Miss
say,
Piggy.
speaking of Miss Piggy, we just got back from Disney World. It was
How-
his first time for my dad back in Disney. How many years?
Last time I took you, I don't know.
What? How many of you were like the entire family went? So how many of it?
The whole 14.
14. Wow.
How did you guys
It was
get
a
a
nightmare.
dinner
It was
reservation?
a nightmare. It was a nightmare just moving things around. But Ashley and Carrie Ann both had the DAS thing, so
Oh.
that was the only reason we were able to do things
Is that like
successfully.
a fast pass type thing?
It's the disability thing where you can basically it's like the advanced fast pass, but they're changing
Okay.
the rules, so you can't do that now.
So last
Oh.
time I went to
These
But I
guys
think
are
my-
Disney experts. Like especially my
no,
daughter-in-law Ashley and
she's pro.
Carrie Ann?
and Carrie. They know all this stuff.
But let me
They
tell
know
you,
all
that's a very lucrative. Like if you know about that and you can turn that into a business,
They
a lot of
pay-
people
no,
pay
there's
that.
people
Yeah.
that they pay. You can pay a Disney person, and I think there's people that offer their services
No, yeah,
to help
on-
walk you through your day and
but
make
even
sure that you get
virtually,
on every
it's like if
ride.
you
They're
know,
all over
It's so
TikTok.
much work though, like to plan it all successfully. It's a lot of just like
or just be a
knowing
blog,
the right times to book things and
right?
shit like
or
that.
just be
So
a
much
blogger
preparing.
and put all that information out there. Because I'll tell you,
Nah, but they know, like, hey, we're gonna go here because we have 40 minutes to go there. I mean, they just know. They
Yeah.
just
but
know.
wait, Mike, it was Epcot. It was a florals festival too, right?
It was.
How
yeah.
gorgeous was it?
Not too gorgeous.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't many
I
flowers.
think he was having more fun on the rides though than the kids were having.
Yeah.
I hate roller coasters.
What do you mean?
I hate
You hate
Are you
roller
setting us up,
coasters?
Brian?
He did the Slinky Dog roller coaster.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, the Woody one.
Yeah, but after losing all that weight and going there and being able to put that had to feel
the cool
good.
part is that giant bar that they close on you,
yeah.
like doesn't crush your cage. It doesn't crush you. You
Oh,
you
yes.
have a little room.
Right. And walking had to been a lot easier and nice and
Yeah, walking was pretty easy.
yeah, that's awesome.
Forget that.
Wow.
I'll take that thing.
So
nice
did you
and tight.
just do the park or you went to different parks?
No, we did the whole thing. Yeah, we were there for the weekend. We did.
Wow.
Some of us
Breakfast with
did
the
3 parks.
characters was cool.
Yeah.
My
I've never done
grandchildren loved the characters.
do that.
Fern, he was out Star Trekking all the Star Wars people.
I
was telling him
saw
that's like
you
giving them
taking
the middle
pictures
finger.
and doing the live long and prosper.
Oh, I didn't see those. I want to see that. You did that to the actual Star Wars people?
Yeah.
He took pictures with Chewbacca doing it.
That's messed up.
I mean,
This one guy on the ride was giving me some trouble, and I gave him the sign, and he goes on this like the microphone, so
Called you
everybody
out.
can hear. We have a Star Trek fan in here.
Oh man.
I'll
you
make
get a
sure
bunch
that
of
your
booze?
ride is extra special.
Did you get a bunch of booze?
No, but it was
Oh,
fun.
man.
The guy
I would've
the guy
booed
was
you.
funny. He was funny. He made me laugh. But these guys are diehard Disney people.
That's
I have no idea how to do
Like-
it. Last time I went, I was lost. I was very upset. I got
too.
to like get on
No.
3 rides. Thank God there were drinks.
Fern, these people know everything.
Ryan,
what do you
you're
mean?
a diehard Disney?
My wife is
Oh.
So
okay.
that makes you a diehard Disney
by
too.
association.
Yes.
Yeah.
My
Ryan's got
son
no
Mike
choice.
Mike Jr. got engaged in Disney. He proposed in Disney.
Yeah,
Yours-
Junior
Wow.
and Carrie Ann are intense.
So they're Disney's.
They should have had
Ryan and Ashley
Addison
are
there.
They're different though.
Disney.
They're there with the 6-month-old. They're there at the parks with the 6-month-old on the ride.
Dedicated.
On
on
Super
a
dedicated.
ride?
No issues. The baby was super happy.
Yeah, but she's a
laughing and giggling the
different
whole
she's
time.
a different
She is-
breed of baby too. Like
that baby's fearless.
Yeah.
She is the happiest baby I have ever seen.
We had
Just
a
giggling through the
celebration
haunted
here in the
mansion.
office, and Fern goes crazy with the bell, and Mike goes on with the loud, and she just was looking around like nothing, very chill. Nothing phases her. Kudos to her parents who must be like putting the TV on blast in the background, so you know what
No,
they say.
she doesn't watch
Turn it
TV.
No,
on.
not
Vacuum
watching it, but like
cleaner.
give her background noise so she doesn't, because she goes to sleep perfectly easy.
Mike
too.
had a train horn, guys.
Yeah.
Literal train horn.
The
and
dogs
this baby
were
was
barking.
smiling. The dogs were terrified, and the baby was laughing.
with her solo part.
Wow.
Yeah.
Genius.
So
Perfect child.
Ryan, you have some questions for Lori, or did you
Oh,
guys
Did
already
we
do the
ask her
questions?
the questions last time? You might have done the questions before.
Not the
I-
new
we-
questions.
That was
We
can ask her
800
the updated
episodes
ones.
again. We got to update them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to give her the updated ones?
People's opinions
I'm-
change.
Yeah, your answers might be different now.
I don't remember.
Perfect. Okay. What is your favorite flower?
Well,
Miss Piggy, we already
Miss
described that.
Piggy.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the best sandwich?
ooh, you know what I'm kind of hooked on right now is a Reuben.
See, I wonder.
Ding,
I
ding.
feel
Number
that
one
might have been
answer.
what she
I
said.
really think she said
Oh.
that the first time too.
Yeah,
Are you
I think so, too.
serious? Well,
Maybe.
I'm still hooked on it.
Still hooked on it. I like it. Has your opinion changed on the most overrated flower?
Did I say the peony?
I don't know. I can't remember.
We're
now.
gonna fact check you.
I
Don't
like
worry.
it, but I feel like that's everybody's go-to.
Mm.
The people, not in our industry, but people outside of the industry. It's
Our
different.
industry screwed up peonies.
I
Our
agree.
industry ruined peonies.
Okay, elaborate, please, because I agree
Because
with
there
you.
was a time where the peony season was waited for with great anticipation. People
mean-
would pay anything to have their peonies, and they would get the best quality. And
Not
it was-
just that, they would plan their weddings or events years out to make sure that they
Yeah.
had it in the right time to make
Yeah.
peony season.
now peonies is pretty much planted
Yeah.
around the globe, and it's pretty much year round,
Maybe-
and they just ain't special. And the focus is not on quality anymore; it's on quantity.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
My husband's boss, his mother has a peony farm in Virginia, some little island off.
she's
Anyway.
another one of the ruiners.
Oh no.
That's
Well,
domestic
Come on.
production. That's not
Well,
ruined.
no,
That's
domestic
natural
production's
season.
not
No.
bad.
Nope,
But here's
everybody's
the
got
thing.
peonies.
She's got a little farm. She's had it for a while, but she's having a hard time getting anyone. She has a contract. I'm not going to mention with who, but she's having a hard time renewing that because of what you said.
Yeah.
You can get them
You can get them wherever almost year
Really?
round.
And in some cases, it might not
wherever
even
you
pay to
want
grow them.
instead of like local.
Yeah.
And I had that conversation because he was asking me if I had any advice. I'm like,
And
no,
also
I
the
mean,
storage peonies that are like
try to just
rolling the
maybe sell them
dice.
local.
That
You can find peonies year round pretty much now.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it used to just be like a springtime thing. And now
Yeah.
it's
Well, she only has one harvest. You
Mhm.
know, she does. They only are like around Mother's Day, I think, is when she has them, and they're
right
it.
now is the perfect storm for
Yeah.
peonies. We've got peonies coming in from Morocco, from China, from Virginia, from the Carolinas, from France, Italy, Holland, and I probably missed a few. They're coming from everywhere right now. Israel still has production as well. It's coming from everywhere.
Do they?
Yes.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Okay.
There's
Yes.
peonies from everywhere.
They're from everywhere. So it's a
Wow.
big hot mess when it comes to the peony market. And, you know, the quality buyer, the novelty buyer has now become the price buyer. And they have these companies here in town who specialized in pom-poms and carnations and roses, and suddenly now they are peony enthusiasts. They're in the peony market. They're in the peony business. And yeah, they could probably make a few bucks doing it, and they can, you know, get a few more sales. But peonies is a very that's a part of your business that is very detailed, and you have to pay really a good attention to how you handle them. And you can't handle them and rotate them like a carnation, or
You can.
Yeah.
you know, you have to. There's ways to handle them, special ways to handle them, and you got to know which varieties last and which ones don't. And a lot of these people are almost ruining it because they don't know the right pricing. They don't know the right market condition. They just don't know, and just want to be in that business, and that is everywhere now. So they don't make them special. It's not special anymore.
I 100% agree with you. That's why I feel like they're overrated
Yeah,
because of that. They're saturated.
but it is the number one Google flower.
Well, it's just I think the allure of the peony is the way they open up.
What is Lori? What is the most underrated flower right now, in your opinion?
Carnation?
Number one answer.
I said it first.
Boom! It was together.
That's it.
That was in synchrony.
I love all the new colors that
I
I've been
agree.
seeing lately.
Especially
And they are
the antique
hardy.
looking ones,
Yeah.
the nostalgic looking ones are the ones that I like.
Tons of texture.
Yes. Yeah. I just think they got a bad rap for whatever reason, and they're beautiful and hardy, and they last. And I think brides should be looking at them.
Agreed.
I think
I
they
don't-
are.
I agree
I think they are.
Yeah.
They are being used, and the Moon series carnations, the Florigine people have now they have chrysanthemums, pom poms that are in those color tones naturally,
Beautiful.
Yes.
which is taking
Yeah.
off like wildfire.
Yeah. You know, the other flowers I think are interesting. And I think actually you might have done an Instagram on them, or the Ramones.
Mm-hmm.
I think those
Casey just put out a little video on those because
yeah,
they're
Casey did.
so
Those-
underrated. So many new.
The texture
colors.
is
Our
ridiculous.
friends from Deli Floor explained it all to
Yes.
us.
The texture
Yeah.
is ridiculous. Yeah, because there's
We used quite a few. We just did a sympathy photo shoot. We were doing we used quite a few in like casket sprays. They're just they're beautiful.
Gorgeous.
They're not that expensive. They last a long time. They have a very intense fragrance, and they take up a lot of real estate.
They take up a lot of real estate.
What
Yeah,
more
and
could you ask
they're
for?
What more
beautiful.
could you ask for? Yeah. And these Delaflor guys
Yeah.
are pumping them out because of the genetic markers. Is that what it is?
yeah.
They're bringing them to market faster than anybody's ever
Yeah.
done it before. It's awesome.
Yeah. So,
What's the scariest animal, Lori?
The scariest animal. Oh, I don't know. I would say an alligator.
It's a scary animal.
Is that an
It is scary. Yeah, of course.
Definitely a
Yeah,
scary
cats.
animal. We got to be cautious around here.
Sometimes Sid wants to jump in like water.
Oh, you gotta be
Oh,
careful.
Yeah.
Be careful.
And
You
I
can't-
freak out because there might be a gator waiting in there.
But the gator's
love
gonna be
lakes.
scared of Sid because of the size. Gators usually go for the little dogs.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I love lakes, and that is my fear.
Yeah, you're
alligator.
west. You live in West Pines,
Ugh.
so yeah, you're close to where the gators
Yeah.
come from. You got to be careful.
I feel like all mammal animals, even, and I know this is horrible, but I'm like, I feel like they would be my friend.
Yeah.
I just really do. Like elephants.
She's gonna see the bear and be like,
She
"You just need a hug."
You give me blonde Snow White vibes. You know, like you kind of have that Snow White vibe. Like we're like Lori's
feel like
outside
I'm-
in her pool, and all of a sudden, all the
be my
animals are there.
Please come to me. Come to me. Come to me. So, but alligators would not. They would.
I was
they would-
hoping, since you're living in Texas now, you'd say scorpions, because I know that's an issue.
Well, I've had scorpions in Oklahoma. I've never seen them here, but I've been stung by scorpions
Have
Really?
you? Wow.
quite a few times.
Yikes.
What do you do in that instance?
You know, one time, the first time I went to see Jaws, the movie, at a drive-in when I was in grade school. I remember I was terrified. I came home from that and I walked in our kitchen, which this was late 70s, early 80s. So my kitchen was carpeted. Keep that in mind. It was some sweet goldish rust carpet because that was the thing. I went to the refrigerator.
Shag. It was a shag carpet.
It was an indoor outdoor carpet because it was the kitchen. Shag was in the other room. But I will never forget this. I walked into the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, and as I did, I was in my pajamas. I stepped on a scorpion,
Oh.
which I thought was Jaws because I had just been bit by a shark. Freaked out because it hurt,
Yeah.
and that's my scorpion story.
After
That's
I saw
it.
Jaws, I wouldn't get in the swimming pool.
So many
Oh,
people
no.
have
I
that
am
story.
terrified.
I thought a shark would swim up the drain and come into the
Yes.
pool and eat me.
Terrified.
I mean, Jaws was that generational
Yeah.
movie, like, holy shit, I'm gonna avoid the ocean or any
Yes.
kind of water from
Yeah.
now
yes.
on.
Mike Jr. won't swim in the lake.
No?
He can't see the bottom. He won't swim in it.
Barbie, before we got to the lake house, Barbie was like, when I was a kid, I saw this movie and it had this lake monster that was like a blob.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna go into it. I was like, are you serious? Don't be a pussy. But she got over her fear and did it. Mike Jr. still won't go in the water?
That's crazy.
Not the lake, no.
No.
Can't see the bottom. What, you too, Joel? You won't go in the lake?
Yeah,
Ugh.
no,
Why? Why won't you go?
because
in
I
the
can't see the bottom.
Florida lakes are different than the lake you're talking about.
yeah.
Oh,
I wouldn't go in the lake in your backyard at the Florida house.
At least in mine.
But in your lake house, I would go in that lake.
canal. I'm not.
No,
No,
I wouldn't.
canals
Canals,
different.
are a
Canals
death
different.
trap.
No,
Don't go
Ryan,
in
you
that.
guys, I used to forbid
I
you guys
used
from
to go
going
in there
that
for sure. We
pond
used to jump in
behind
there
our
all the
house.
time, but
And you guys
as
used
I'm
to
older
jump in
and
there all the
wiser-
time.
Well, that's because you
Yeah,
forbid
but-
them. Now that they
Well-
can do it, they don't need to.
Everyone fertilizes
Fearless.
their lawn and it all washes in there. It's like not.
I'd rather
so
swim
good.
in the ocean.
Toxic. It's a
Not
toxic
great.
pool. Yeah, I would not
Yeah.
swim in
That's
any
what
lakes.
Jaws is at. I don't do ocean.
Yeah, but I can see the bottom a little more.
I will not swim in any Florida lakes.
I'll swim
No,
in
no,
any
but-
body of water.
Up
I love
New York,
water.
I'm all in.
Maybe I don't know.
That water
I don't know
tastes-
what's
I'm
in
a Cancer,
New York.
so I need to be around water all the time.
I'm a Cancer.
Yeah? What's June 29th?
me too.
You?
There you go. June 25th.
Nice.
I'm
What
surrounded
are
by
you, Ryan?
cancers too.
July 19th.
There you go. We're all little summer babies.
It's all making sense.
Yes, exactly. All making sense.
And Laurie, what's your favorite drunk food?
My favorite junk food?
No,
Drunk.
no, drunk.
Oh, drunk food. Well, that would be junk. Drunk food. Well, let me think. I don't know. Any food? Ice cream, pizza. I
Pizza.
don't know. I do have a memory of one time coming home drunk. This was a long time ago, and I had Breyer's Almond Joy ice cream in the refrigerator, and it was almost full, and I ate the entire thing.
That's ice cream by the pint, for sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was drunk. It wasn't munchies, but it was a drunk food. It used to be
Yeah.
Whataburger
Oh,
back
yeah.
in the day.
I
Whataburger.
love Whataburger.
Is it
Mine was
sold?
fried chicken when I used to get drunk.
Oh, well, fried chicken is my sober favorite.
Yeah.
And Lori, if you could suggest a guest.
Gosh, you guys have had almost everybody I know.
Also,
No pressure.
can we get the name of your friend's book? Maybe that'll also help a lot of people that are the book that you.
Oh, yes. It's called Spark the Heart.
Okay.
Remember on my typo, it had Spark the Heat.
Yes, I remember.
On the slide. That's my alter ego. Spark the Heart by Dr. Nicole C. Price. She's amazing. She's written quite a few books. She also wrote a book that, I'm reading another one of her books right now, but she also wrote a book called The Holy Educated Motherfucker.
Oh,
What a title.
like that one.
Like it.
Kind of the story of her life. That was my first book I wrote of her. I read of hers. But this one she wrote is really good. The back of it has like a little study guide that you can do, like a 7-day study guide to help develop empathy, on how to make it better if you struggle, because she's a big believer, because she's a chemical engineer with zero empathy. Like, she was not born with it. So she is a big believer that anyone can develop it, but it takes work. So that's her. The other book I really liked was Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown. She has a lot. I like a lot of her books. Brene, yeah. And then, of course, Simon Sinek, he talks a lot about the importance of empathy.
I didn't know Simon had written books. I am definitely
how he
going to
got
reach
famous,
out. I'm
from
definitely
writing
going to read a couple of his books. I love
And he has a podcast.
Yep.
Man,
I've heard it.
ladies and gentlemen, Lori Wilson, thank you for an amazing episode of Two Fat Guys Talking Flowers.
Thanks for having me.
It is
Did you get
definitely.
the contact info?
Oh, no. Pause.
Go.
Cut this out.
Ryan.
Lori, if someone wants to reach out to you, how can they get in contact with you?
They can email me at Lori, Lori, at flowerclique, CLIQUE.com.
The little clickers. Love that.
That's
name.
my coffee mug.
The
I
There
clickers.
you go.
I
And
use
your
that
and
almost
your
every
favorite
day.
and your favorite sweatshirts are from.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, my
Favorite.
flowers sweatshirt has been in probably like 10 or 15 countries already.
Mm-hmm.
It's making
That's
its rounds.
awesome.
Yeah.
It is the best. I wear mine a lot too.
And
Everybody
wait a
that has
minute,
one.
aren't I supposed to get something?
I requested it.
We did a barter
What?
and I did my part.
Don't worry. I'm working with Ellie.
Ellie.
She did it.
Oh, I
she,
was going to say, am I supposed
she does
to do
things
something?
differently, Mike. So she does pre-ordering. So she pre-ordered it already.
Oh, okay.
Ellie, I'm sure is going to take care of you, Mike.
There's no messing around there.
She's in trouble.
All right. Do we miss
I
anything
can
else?
promise
No?
it. So,
I'm looking forward to it.
All
right.
right, ladies and
Guys.
gentlemen. What? No?
I'm
Maybe?
keeping that.
You're going to keep that?
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another amazing, almost a tearjerker episode with our good friend Lori Wilson. Thank you for joining us. Joelle, Mimi, myself, Mike, Ryan. Thank you so much. Have a great day, guys.